Hi, my name is Michelle Chalemi, and I am here at the Hopalong Hollow in Norwalk, Connecticut. And I wanted to let you know and introduce myself. I've been a volunteer here at the Hopalong Hollow since 2005, and I've adopted, I think, 3 or 4 rabbits since then. And I'm here today to talk with Linda Thabalt, who's the director of the Hopalong Hollow, to really just to have you get to know what it's like to adopt a bunny as a pet and to understand how and what it takes to run a shelter. Linda, tell us how the Hopalong Hollow began and what motivated you to start it.
Well, we started the Hollow in 2003. I can't believe it's been that many years already. It began just with one person, which was me, and 6 rabbits. And it's just grown exponentially because of the need. We started with no volunteers, and when we did an adoption, actually one of the potential adopters said, "Would you like some help?" And I said, "Yes, very much."
Yeah.
So when she began to come and help me clean cages, then I started taking on more rabbits.
And what's your role as a director?
As a director, I have multiple roles. I do a lot of the medical care. I oversee the volunteer staff. I'm responsible for fundraising. I'm responsible for making sure that the volunteers show up and that everything gets done and the bunnies get the best care possible.
It sounds like a lot of work. Do you take a salary for this?
It is a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. We don't have the funding to have salaries for anybody. Everything is volunteer, 100%.
So I understand the Hopalong Hollow started as a rescue, and that now you're providing hospice and sanctuary services.
Well, that all came about because we've been here for 10 years now. We're almost 10 years. We started out with lots of rabbits, and unfortunately not all rabbits are totally lovable and friendly. There is an occasional one that's a little nippy, not always very nice. So these guys have stayed with us. And over the years, nobody wanted to adopt them. But you know what? After you have a rabbit for 9 years, you kind of love them. Even though they're a sanctuary bunny, they're sort of, in a sense, the volunteers' bunnies. So they have stayed with us, and as they've gotten older, they've gotten sick. They've gotten old age illnesses. They get arthritis. They need medications. Sometimes they have various illnesses that, the kidneys fail just like people. As they get older, things change. So what are you going to do? Many shelters euthanize, but that's not what we do at the home.
Right. Is that care expensive, though, the medical care?
It's very expensive. Yeah. And somehow, and I don't quite know how, we always manage to find the money. But it's a constant worry, and no matter how hard you work to raise funds, you're always wondering if the vet bill is going to get paid that month. Knock wood, so far it always has been.
What about spays and neuters and the cost for that? And why is it necessary for every rabbit to be spayed or neutered?
Spays and neuters are essential for 2 reasons. One, you don't want a lot of extra bunnies. When we take bunnies in, they usually have been running free. They're usually rabbits that have been set loose by people that no longer wanted them. So you don't know what their history is. You don't know if they've been with another bunny of the opposite sex. You don't know for sure they're pregnant or they're not pregnant. So we neuter or spay as soon as possible, particularly spays, because we don't want babies here. There's enough rabbits in the world. However, there's also health reasons. Female rabbits are very prone to cancer. Male rabbits get testicular cancer, though not nearly as often as the females. If the rabbit is not spayed by usually about age 6, they usually have cancer. And if you remove the uterus, it can add on another 5-6 years to their life.
Wow, what is the lifespan for a rabbit?
That depends on the size of the rabbit. The larger rabbits, just like with dogs, tend to live a shorter lifespan. 6-7 years. The little ones, I've actually had one go to 12 years, 13 years. It's fairly common with the little ones.
That sounds like dogs.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's the only way they're like dogs. They're actually more like cats.
So where do your bunnies come from, and are you able to help them all?
I wish we could help them all, but unfortunately I probably turn away at least 6 people a day that have a rabbit that they have either found or that they can no longer keep, sometimes because of health reasons. Sometimes it's an aggressive rabbit that it can be fixed very easily just by having it spayed or neutered. No, we can't take them all in. We don't even come close. But we do give preference to rabbits that are found in really dire situations. Rabbits that have been turned loose, that are running loose, that are being chased by dogs, that are basically prey for wildlife. people don't get that there is a difference between a wild rabbit and a domestic rabbit.
Yeah.
They see a they see a wild rabbit out there and they say, oh, mine will be fine out there. And they turn him loose. Well, if he lives a week, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Will you take in a rabbit that's already sick?
That's where the Hollow is different than a lot of places. Yes, we absolutely will. If we have an open room, we have a spot for the rabbit. If we have the ability to take care of it, I absolutely will. Sickness is not a disqualification for coming in. If it is something similar to cancer, we'll do the surgery. We do provide it. We have great vets that work with us. They help with the costs, but once again, there's never enough money.
Right. Yeah.
But I have never yet had to turn away a rabbit because of health reasons. We even have some rabbits here that have broken backs. We have chronic illnesses. But of course, obviously, it's better if you can get a rabbit that can be fixed.
Sure, sure. How do you get the rabbit ready to be adopted to a family?
Well, lots depend on what the situation with the individual rabbit is. If the rabbit's friendly and outgoing and healthy, well, that's easy. They come in and they go out again pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But if you have a rabbit that's very frightened, we'll try and put them into a foster home and have people work with them on a one-to-one basis. If you have an ill rabbit, well, it's vet visits and care, and usually you can turn things around. It's very rare you get an animal that has enough fear or enough aggression that it can't be fixed.
So no matter how careful you are in your screening, things do come up that you probably can't predict. So what happens if a family adopts a rabbit and it doesn't work out?
Any rabbit, once they come under the umbrella protection of the Hollow, they're here as long as we're here. If you take a rabbit, and I've had rabbits come back to us after being adopted out 6 years ago when allergy situations developed, they can always come back. We will always find room for one of our, I call them our alumni, and they are absolutely always welcome. But obviously we'll work with the family as much as we can to try and prevent that from happening. Sometimes if it's a matter of helping you out with some medical care, we're willing to do anything we can to keep them in a happy home. But if they have to come back, we're always here for them.
So your door is always open.
It's a revolving door, Michelle, always.
Yeah, yeah. Years ago, rabbits used to be kept outdoors in hutches, and I know you refuse to adopt to families who will keep a rabbit, who won't keep it indoors, essentially. So can you tell us why?
Well, years ago we did a lot of things because we, basically out of ignorance, we didn't know any better. Rabbits they're very social creatures. They need the constant stimulation. With a rabbit, you get out of it what you put into it. If you give it love and attention, you're going to get love and attention and affection. If you have a rabbit that's in an outdoor hutch, he sits there by himself. He has absolutely no interaction. Can you imagine spending your world in one room, looking out, and not being able to interact with anybody and getting food thrown at you once a day?
Yeah,
it's not fair.
It's pretty sad.
And it's also very dangerous for them. There's a lot of illnesses, and there's the predator problem. In Connecticut and the whole tri-state area, we have tons of raccoons. We have hawks. You name it, it's out there. Not to mention kids that like to open hutches and let them free.
Yeah, yeah.
The average rabbit that lives indoors has a 12-year lifespan compared to the average lifespan for an outdoor rabbit of 2 years. It's a big difference.
It is. It is a big difference. How large of a geographic area do you think your adoptions cover? And your
We have
rescues?
actually had, we've had the tri-state area, which New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, I've had lots of adoptions from. We've had a couple from Massachusetts, and I currently know of rabbits of ours that have traveled after being adopted as far as California and Florida. So we have hollow
Wow.
buddies all over.
Wow. So what do you see as the future for the Hollow?
Realistically, with the economy, I don't know. We have a lot of dreams. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers that want to make this grow. There's a need for it. There's a huge need. There's not many shelters for rabbits. There's not places for people. Rabbits have become the third most popular pet. I think most people are aware of that. But they are not, there's no facilities. There's no shelters that accept rabbits.
Okay. Yeah.
We could take in 6 to 10 rabbits a day with no problem if we had the facilities. Obviously, we're never going to be able to fix the problem in the tri-state area, but the bigger we can get, the more we can do. And as it is, we're really making a difference. In the 10 years we've been here, we've adopted out 1,400 rabbits, which is a lot of rabbits. And we have hopes of someday finding a facility. And again, it's got to be the right place. It's got to be somebody that's willing to donate a facility and getting the funding, getting some grants, and really taking this and running with it. There is a need.
Well, thank you, Linda. It's been really, really informative.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Next, we're going to meet two volunteers from the Hopalong Hollow. And the first, to my right here, is Jeremy Burchard. Jeremy, how did you get involved with the Hopalong Hollow?
About a year ago, my wife decided that I guess she wanted a bunny pretty much all her life. And while we were at our vet in South Wilton, they recommended the Hollow. We'd never heard of it before. I talked to Linda on the phone a few times, and then my wife and I came, and she picked the bunny that she wanted and decided it would be better to have a bonded pair. So we came back and forth a few times. Linda was able to get them bonded together, so they had company, so to speak, during the day because
Right.
they both work. And it was about a year ago. We've been trying to help here whenever we can since then.
Do you live far from here?
100 miles round trip.
Wow. And how often do you come?
As often as needed, anytime Linda needs anything.
Oh, that's really great. So you have two bunnies then?
We have two bunnies.
Okay, do you have other pets as
We
well?
do. We have a cat, which the bunnies love to chase. It's actually very entertaining. We have an iguana, who the bunnies like to watch and ignore as much as they possibly can. And some bearded dragons, one of which likes to, from time to time, sneak into the bunny cage and hang out with the bunnies.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's very strange to see the first time, but now that we've seen it more than once, it's kind of entertaining.
It sounds like a lot of fun at your house.
It is. It really is.
Well, thanks for talking with us today.
Very well.
Next, we're going to meet another volunteer. Her name is Angela Lopez. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
How did you get involved with the Hopalong Hollow?
I bought a rabbit at a store years ago, not knowing there was a rabbit shelter, and had her for a while, a few years, and I wanted to get another one. And I had these rabbit magazines, which I saw the Hopalong was in, so I called up. I wanted to know more about it, and I ended up volunteering. And I found a rabbit friend, which Linda helped me bond, the one I had.
How many pets do you have?
I have 9. I have 8
Whoa.
rabbits, 2 are fosters for the Hopalong Hollow, and a pit bull.
A pit bull?
Yes.
With rabbits?
Yes.
Very
They get
interesting.
along perfectly. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's very silly to watch them.
So you work full-time,
Mhm.
you're married, you're starting school in the fall to be a vet tech.
Yep.
Your life is pretty busy, right? So what keeps you coming back?
Rabbits are very unusual, silly animals. Just they really grow in your heart,
Yeah.
and it's you see them in the cages, and you want to help them out. And just being here year after year, you see how much the Hopalong Hollow needs help, and I feel like I'm making a difference here in the lives of the rabbits.
Yeah. You are. You definitely are. Well, thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes our interviews for today, and we hope you've learned about the Hopalong Hollow and the challenges that a rabbit shelter faces. If you have any further questions, please reach out to us. You can reach us by phone at area code 203-247-4661. You can visit us online at hopalonghollow.org, or you can email us at hopalonghollow@aol.com. Thank you.
When I look at you, don't be so shy. A different view makes me wanna cry. When I look at you, don't be so shy. A different view makes me wanna cry.